So welcome back to the Discovery series and today one of part 3. In part 3 we're going to focus very much on the mental states. So of course we're still going to be aware of physical sensations and of emotions, but we're going to start to actually name those emotions in the noting process. And I guess the heart of part 3 is really being curious, of investigating, not in an analytical way or a judgmental way, but in really knowing and watching something. So in the same way that when you watch an animal, there's not an idea of judging it or thinking about it necessarily. There's simply the act of watching, very intently, engaged, interested in what you're looking at. So we're looking to bring that same quality of observation, of watching, to watching our own mind. And I guess really knowing how the mind is in this moment is the key, is the mantra almost to this part of the Discovery series. Knowing how the mind is in this moment. And when we are able to do that and to see the mind clearly in that way, then we start to have a very different perspective on the mind. But we're going to start in the usual way. So just take a moment or two to get comfortable. Remember, you're setting the body up in a way that you would like the mind to reflect. So it's alert on the one hand, upright, but not too tight. There's a sense of ease and relaxation about the body as well. And with that nice soft gaze established, just taking a few nice big deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And with the next out breath, just closing the eyes. Allowing the breath to return to its natural rhythm. As you start to engage those physical senses. To begin with, noticing the weight of the body and that contact between the body and the chair and the floor. Aware of sounds. And then just bringing the attention back to the body as you start to become more aware of the feeling in the body today. Noticing whether there's a feeling of heaviness or lightness, of restlessness or stillness in the body right now. And then when you're ready, starting at the top of the head, just gently scanning down through the body, just building up a picture of how the body feels. So remembering to note the experience still, whether it's pleasant, unpleasant, neutral, not getting caught up in thinking about the feeling. And at the same time, just starting to become aware of the emotional quality of mind. So, particularly relevant in part 3 of the Discovery series. Starting to get a flavour of what that underlying mood or emotion might be, regardless of whether you perceive it as good or bad, not analysing it, not thinking about it, just noticing what it is. Reminding yourself why you're doing this exercise, why you're doing it today, what you're hoping to understand or learn from the meditation. Remembering the impact that this exercise, this very simple exercise, can have on you, on your day, and on all the people you come into contact with throughout that day. And knowing that just like every other program, exercise we've done so far in the Headspace journey, it's not about trying to do something, achieve something. It's about stepping back, watching, observing, being curious and interested in the experience of what's arising in the moment. So with that in mind, without trying to breathe in any special way, just allowing the attention to come to the natural rhythm of the breath. But before you actually start to count the breaths in the usual way, just a slight change in the way we're going to note today. So in the moment that you realize you've been distracted, when you become aware of what it is you've been distracted by, simply noting thinking or feeling. If in that moment you're aware of the emotional quality of mind, the emotional flavor or tone of the mind, then I'd like you just to label that. Again, not thinking of it as me or mine, simply noting it. Happiness, worry, doubt, excitement, sadness. It doesn't matter what the emotion is and whether you perceive it as good or bad, positive or negative. In that moment, you realize you've been distracted. Just noting it very lightly, very objectively, before then coming back to the breath and just picking the counting up from where you left off. So just give that a go today and continue just counting the breaths as they pass. And now, as always, just finishing the exercise by letting go of any focus and just letting the mind be completely free. And then just bringing the attention back to the body, back to those physical points of contact. Back to the sounds around you. Even noticing any strong smells or lingering taste in the mouth, so just re-engaging the mind with the physical senses. And in your own time, you can just gently open the eyes. As always, just taking a moment to be clear about carrying that awareness with you throughout the day. Yeah, how far did you get yesterday before the mind wandered? Just remembering to put those little moments of mindfulness in throughout the day. But for now, you can just sit back in the chair, have a stretch. Well done for completing day 1 of part 3. And remember, whether it's during the meditation or whether it's throughout the day, part 3 of the Discovery series is all about knowing how the mind is right now. So, important things to remember as you go through your day. Not to identify with it so strongly that you're thinking about it in terms of how is my mind, how do I feel, this is my feeling. There's not that kind of watching or observation. It's more just turning the mind inwards, noticing how the mind feels in the moment. Noticing how these feelings continue in the same way as in part 2. When we start to watch these feelings, we see that they come and go, that they're never static, they're always changing. And the more we can see that, then the less we tend to hold on to them or resist them. And we start to live life with a greater sense of ease and flow, I would say. So I'll see you back here tomorrow for day